So MLG Columbus was the first ever Call of Duty Advanced Warfare event. And in my honest opinion, I think it was a 100% success. Very fun and entertaining to watch. Now this wasn't like an actual MLG event. This is just for like a Call of Duty. It's kind of like a qualifier for teams to get into the Season 1 League. I don't exactly remember the teams who got into the league that wasn't already. I know TK is back and Parasite's team Prophecy is back, or not back, but they're in it. And a couple other teams, I forget what their names are, or gamer tags or whatever. But anyway, so Uplink. Now a lot of people, including myself, has gave Uplink a lot of shit. I tried playing it a couple of days ago and I absolutely love it. And also at the event, it was very entertaining to watch. Teams like Optic and Envy, how they play Uplink is amazing to see, amazing to watch, including FaZe as well. FaZe is a great Uplink team. But speaking of FaZe, who had FaZe taking this event? That's right, pretty much no one except if you're a fan of FaZe. But Censor, man, I mean, the guy has thumbs. He had one hell of an event. Aches, who's actually almost lost his thumb, somehow on Saturday night, he cut his thumb really bad and had to get 5 stitches. So the man's playing with freaking 5 stitches. His thumb's infected. It's sore, and the guy's still a beast. I mean, Aches is now a 19-time champion. He's the most winningest player in Call of Duty history. He's catching up to the legendary Ogre 2. Now Ogre 2 has like 60 more championships, but close enough. But yeah, so FaZe, played amazing. Slasher. Now I did make a commentary about Slasher. If you guys don't know who he is, now you do. The guy's just an absolute animal. He's a freaking beast. Do I see this FaZe team winning again? Maybe. The way they played this weekend, absolutely amazing. They kind of struggled in pool play against Denial. I think they got 3-0'd by Denial. They came into the championship bracket. I think they got 3-0'd by I think TK or something like that. So some team they got 3-0'd by, and then they just made an incredible losers bracket run. So congrats to FaZe. They earned it. You can't really hate on FaZe. I mean, the way they played against Optic in the finals, I mean, they won the first best of 5 3-1. Second best of 5, 3-2. I mean, they look really good. Speaking of Optic, though, Nate Shot didn't really play, or he didn't have the greatest events. You can't really hate on Nate. What he does for this team and what he does for the community, you can't really deny that. I mean, Nate has a lot of strategies he helps his team out with. So you can't really, like I said, you can't really deny that. He's a bad player because he pretty much makes the shots. He calls, what to do. So Nate, in my honest opinion, had a good event, but he could have played a lot better, and we can all agree on that. I mean, I think Formal and Crimsix had one hell of an event. Scump, he kind of played a bad game and then did great the next game. So Scump was like 50-50. I think he was more like, in Uplink, he was more like the ball carrier and stuff like that. So he did a lot more dirty work than what you see Scump normally do. There's a lot of situations against FaZe with Optic that they could have clutched. That Formal versus Aches, I think it was a Biolab. It was tied 5-5, and it was down to a 1v1. Aches versus Formal. I think Formal if he would have played that a little bit better, Optic could have won the series. And then they could have took the event. So they didn't really clutch when clutches needed to be done. FaZe kind of took advantage of that, and you can't, like I said, you can't hate on FaZe. You can't hate on Censor anymore because, like I said, Censor had one hell of an event. Slasher, I think, is going to win the MVP award overall, so that's great for Slasher. Like I said, Aches is the GOAT, and Apathy is just... Apathy against Optic didn't really play the best. I see him go a lot of the times going like, negative by 5 or 8 kills or something like that. So, he didn't play the greatest against Optic, but he still, he clutched up when needed. He got the gunfights that he needed to get to take the event. My favorite team, Envy, who I was rooting for this event, they kind of struggled on Friday. Then they bounced back, had a fantastic series against Strictly Business, and then I think Saturday they played Denial. Really took Denial to the last map. It came down to the wire. Clayster won multiple 1v1 clutches to help Envy take that series. And then they moved on to play Optic Gaming, and then Optic on that series was just on another level. You couldn't compete. Formal and Crimsix were just going off. Crimsix had an unbelievable 1v3 clutch on Recovery S&D. So they just played, they played like the Optic Gaming that we knew that was going to come into this event and dominate. Now, like I said, they could have won that FaZe series, but they didn't clutch up when needed. In my honest opinion, they need to go back and work on hardpoint. They did lose a lot of hardpoints, especially against Justice. I think on Saturday night, they lost like 250 to like 80 in hardpoint, which to a team like Justice, even though Justice is a really good squad, compared to Optic Gaming, they should have even won by that much. So really, they didn't work on hardpoints. Maybe a little bit of uplink. They kind of the uplink was really good. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things. Like they like to run it in the ball, get 2 points instead of throwing it for 1. Now they could have got a lot more points if they just practice on throwing it and just taking it. You can't really just go for the portal and get it 2 points because it doesn't seem to work out a lot of the time. Someone always goes big and kills the ball carriers. So if they just work on throwing the ball a little bit more, they'll be a lot better to uplink. Maybe working on a little bit of S&Ds and definitely their hard points. And I can see Optic taking the next event, which is UMG Orlando, coming up in a couple of weeks, I think, or next month, something like that. It's coming up really soon. So let's talk about a little bit more about FaZe. Do I think FaZe is going to take another event? Sure. The way they played against Optic, just winning those clutch battles and stuff like that. How Eggs played.